Fellow Toastmasters, brand new Toastmasters, well, yes. And especially my evaluator, Arlen, you have something to do tonight without any pecuniary benefits. From zero to hero. Now, I'm not talking about asking any of you to throw yourself in front of a bus, to throw yourself in front of a bullet for someone, to rush into a burning building. That's what we have in our minds when it comes to talking about heroes. True? When 9/11 happened, we saw that happen all over the place, and we had great pride. What I'm going to talk about tonight is where you can become a hero from zero to hero in someone's life in just one meeting. What I mean about that is our organization, Toastmasters International, is wonderful. The scary thing is that we're all about communication, and there's so many people that it hasn't been communicated to. There's something wrong with that. Many years ago, when I was 13 years old, so it's many years ago, I still remember one time when I went to a Toastmaster meeting with my father. Some of you have heard this story, but I love telling it because it just rekindles that love that I had for my dad as my hero. Well, we went to this meeting this one night, and he brought a gentleman there to the meeting. This man's name was Don. I still remember him because this guy, he had a cleft palate, a hair lip. He was overweight. He was not an attractive man by any means. And he just looked like he was sitting in his chair like this is not one place that he'd ever want to be seen. He was giving his icebreaker that night. Now, for our guests, the icebreaker is the first speech that you give to the club. You tell just a little bit about yourself. And you'd be surprised how terrifying that can be to some people, especially this individual. I saw Don come up to the lectern, and he had his speech in hand. You could hear the paper rattling away. It was that bad. I was grateful that he wasn't holding onto the lectern because that would have been all over the place. Beads of sweat coming down his face. His face was red. Nervous doesn't even begin to epitomize what he was going through. I'm looking across the table at my dad, and this was one of the few times when I was really angry at him. Because I'm thinking, how can you possibly do that to any individual? How can you put them in front of a lectern? This is terrifying. My dad's looking across the table. He caught that from my eye that I was mad at him. He's kind of like, wait for it, wait for it. After Don finished his speech, he received probably what he's never received in his life. That's what I can feel. He received the gift of applause. Beautiful applause. And you could just see that redness go to feeling of warmth, that he was in a group where people were supportive of him. 6 months later, my dad took me to a humorous speech contest, because again, I'm 13 years old. The only thing 13-year-olds care about is something funny. I didn't want to go to that one thing, but I think he was stuck with me that night. So 6 months later, at the humorous speech contest, now you've got the best of the best competing. This was at an area. No, this was still at the club level. Don was performing that night. He competed that night in a contest. Guess what? He won. Roaring applause. Everyone was so thrilled with him. And that was one of the times when I could look over at my dad. It was a private moment that we had eye to eye, and I'm thinking, I knew he served in World War II. I knew he went to MIT, all these other different things that would make him a hero in my life. But I went around in World War II. I wouldn't even thought of. But this is something I got to actually see, that my dad became a hero to me because he changed that man's life just by introducing him to the world of Toastmasters. Sometimes people will ask, why have I been around Toastmasters for more than 30 years? Don't you get enough out of it? You can speak okay, and I make enough screw-ups, which we'll see from my future speeches, and possibly this one. I come because I love seeing the change that it makes in people's lives. That's the golden thing that all of you have. That's that opportunity you have to invite a friend to come to a meeting, have them sit down, have a little bit of fun, have some laugh, learn something at every single meeting. I can't tell you all the different things that I've learned, especially from this club. We've had correctional officers, we've had people from Kenya, we've had people from, you name all the different places, from Russia, telling us different things that will open up our minds to different things that we never had before. Perhaps by bringing someone to that meeting, you just went from zero, not a bad thing, just a lot of times people don't think about you as making a change in their lives. You're just dragging them along to a meeting, but at the end of the meeting, when they get that warm fuzzy feeling, when they give their icebreaker, when they get their Competent Communicator Award, when they progress, when they work with the district and other different things that they get addicted to, you become a toastaholic. And the weird thing is you still have to attend meetings. You become a hero in their lives. They might not even say something to you, but just know that you made a difference in their lives. How can you be a hero now? A lot of you have achieved a lot of different things in Toastmasters. Well, you have these things called area governors and division governors that are scrambling for someone to help them put together their contest and to participate in the contest. Just by saying, hey, I'll help. I'll be the timer tonight. I'll be an evaluator tonight. When you fill a slot, when you fill a role, you became a minor hero in that person's life. Candido's looking at the agenda tonight. He didn't have any speakers show up. Guess what? He got stuck with a couple. We make it happen. You can make it happen. Become a hero. It doesn't take that much effort. It just says, hey, come with me tonight. I want to introduce you to some friends of ours. We have a lot of fun every Thursday evening. Mr. Toastmaster.